We're going to get started with the proclamations.
Thank you. Got several proclamations and a certificate of recognition to give out today. So what I'll start with is the first one, Kenner Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas about 1 out of 4 residents in the city of Kenner are Hispanic, and the city accounts for about 24% of the 79,000 Hispanic residents in Jefferson Parish. Whereas the Kenner Hispanic community makes significant contributions to the social and cultural fabric of life in Kenner and in all areas, including civic, business, art, music, and cuisine, and these contributions help to make the city a destination location. Whereas it is in the best interest of the City of Kenner to recognize September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month and to celebrate Hispanic culture, cuisine, arts, and music throughout the city. Whereas during National Hispanic Heritage Month, as is the case throughout the year, we appreciate the contributions of our Hispanic community and recognize that Kenner can only be truly strong and thriving when all residents, including the Hispanic community, make important contributions. Now, therefore, I, Kenner Mayor Michael Glazer, along with the members of the Kenner City Council and Chief of Police Keith Conley, do hereby proudly proclaim September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month in the city of Kenner. And we're also going to read that in, I'm not, but someone's going to read it in Spanish.
Buenos días, good morning. Proclamación del mes de la herencia hispana. Considerando que 1 de cada 4 residentes de la ciudad de Kenner es hispano, la ciudad cuenta con el 24% de los 79,000 residentes hispanos que residen en la parroquia de Jefferson. Considerando que la comunidad hispana de Kenner contribuye de manera significativa a los aspectos sociales y culturales de la ciudad, también aporta a otras áreas tales como economía, artes culinarias y música, convirtiendo nuestra ciudad en un destino indicado. Considerando que la ciudad de Kenner declara que el 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre se reconoce como el mes de la herencia hispana. Durante todo el mes, la ciudad estará llevando a cabo eventos para resaltar dichas tradiciones. Considerando que durante el mes de la herencia hispana, la ciudad de Kenner agradece las contribuciones de la comunidad y al mismo tiempo reconoce que Kenner se convierte en una ciudad más fuerte y próspera debido a los esfuerzos que hace dicha comunidad. Por lo cual, el alcalde Michael Glazer, junto al Consejo Municipal de la ciudad de Kenner y el jefe de la policía Keith Conley, proclaman con orgullo el mes de la herencia hispana del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre en la ciudad de Kenner. Gracias.
Thank you for that. And carrying on with the same topic, I have a certificate of appreciation for one of our oldest Hispanic residents here in Kenner. It says, Certificate of Appreciation. Be it known that the City of Kenner hereby recognizes Victor Garcia as part of the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. The City of Kenner is proud to recognize Victor Garcia, a native of Nicaragua, and at 94 years old, one of the oldest Hispanic residents in the city. Victor has lived in Kenner since 1990 and is the owner of Continental Screen Printing. Given under my hand and the seal of the City of Kenner, Louisiana, this is the 16th day of September, 2022. Michael Glazer, Mayor. So, Mr. Victor, would you like to come up? Where you want us, Bob? Right here.
La ciudad de Kenner otorga este certificado de reconocimiento a Víctor García. Como parte de la celebración del mes de la herencia hispana, la ciudad de Kenner se enorgullece en reconocer a Víctor García, originario de Nicaragua. A sus 94 años de edad, es uno de los residentes hispanos de Kenner más longevo. Víctor ha vivido en Kenner desde 1990 y es propietario de Continental Screen Printing. Felicidades.
And the next one. Whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize the Constitution of the United States of America and to celebrate the 235th anniversary of one of our country's most important documents. Whereas the Constitution of the United States was signed at Independence Hall in Philadelphia at 4 p.m. on September 17, 1787. This document is the guardian of our liberties and embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law, not by man. Whereas the 7 chapters of the Southeast District of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, including the Oliver Pollock chapter in Kenner, work throughout the year to enrich local communities by protecting and preserving historic locations, fostering patriotism and love of country, supporting charitable endeavors in schools, assisting veterans and the infirm, and encouraging historical research. Now, therefore, I, Kenner Mayor Michael Glazer, along with the members of the Kenner City Council and Chief of Police Keith Conley, do hereby congratulate and thank the Southeast District of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, and with great pride and patriotism, proclaim September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week in the city of Kenner. Given under my hand and seal, on this day, Michael Glazer, Mayor. This is what you wanted. That's what I wanted. This is what you wanted. You can have, where you want us? We'll get, yeah, plenty. Good vineyards, maybe? Everybody? All right. Yep, you can stand up if you want to. All right, let's go with the next one. Whereas hunger and poverty are issues of vital concern in Louisiana, where 640,540 people struggle with hunger, and 1 in every 5 children do not know where their next meal will come from. In addition, food insecurity and lack of access to healthy foods contribute to various nutrition-related illnesses. Whereas, while the Kenner Food Bank and our local partners annually provide 21,000 meals to more than 5,000 residents in the city of Kenner, it is our responsibility as citizens of the city to learn about hunger and do our part to reduce that hunger. Whereas the city of Kenner collaborates with Feeding America, Second Harvest Food Bank, and American Heart Association to educate people about the important role of hunger relief organizations and the need for more resources and attention to hunger and food insecurity issues. Whereas volunteers and local donors like Christ the King Lutheran Church and the Vineyard Church understand the need for comprehensive and coordinated emergency food programs. This September, Kenner joins communities across the country to fight hunger during National Hunger Action Month, which is dedicated to raising awareness and finding solutions. Now, therefore, I, Michael Glazer, along with the Kenner City Council and Chief of Police Keith Conley, do hereby proclaim September as National Hunger Action Month, observe September 23rd as National Hunger Action Day, and commit to pursuing opportunities to promote food access and security wherever possible. Be it further resolved that the City of Kenner recognizes Christ the King Lutheran Church and the Vineyards Church and their volunteers as partners in this fight against hunger to improve food access to all residents. Thank you. Want to come take a picture? And that's it for me.
Thank you, Mayor Glazer. And thank you, everyone who attended and was recognized. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Let's start with special intentions. Does anyone have any special intentions?
Yes.
Councilman Lahat?
A good friend of mine from grammar school, Adam Perret, died unexpectedly this past Sunday. Went to his funeral today. He has 2 young children. Please keep his family thoughts and prayers. Adam Perret. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brennan.
I'd like to remember the family of a District 5 resident, Seton Park resident, actually a neighbor, Sterling Sheremy, who is a longtime Kenner resident who passed away earlier this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brennan. I would also like to ask for prayers for the family of Emil Laffercade, who previously served the city of Kenner as the PIO under the Munez administration. He passed away last week, and his funeral was this morning, so prayers to his family and friends. Let's get started. I want to invite the lead pastor, Dean Ross, from Family Church in University City, to lead us in the prayer.
Let's pray. Lord, we're reminded from your prophet Habakkuk that chapter 3, verse 2, Lord, we've heard of your fame. We stand in awe of your deeds, O Lord. Renew them in our day and our time, make them known. Lord, I pray today for our council and our administration here in Kenner. I pray that you would lead and guide us. Lord, even a year, now we're more than a year after Hurricane Ida. Lord, continue to help lead and guide us as we rebuild and we move into a bold and bright future together. So, Lord, I pray you bless these leaders, Lord, knowing that leadership sometimes is a thankless job. We pray blessings over their families. We pray that you would lead and guide them. And we pray that you bless everyone in this room who works so hard to make this city great. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Councilmember Brennan, please lead us in the pledge.
Muscle memory.
Good morning. You have a quorum. In accordance with Council Resolution Number B14550, please be advised that all cellular telephones and other devices of this nature must be deactivated or silenced throughout the council meeting. We have correspondence, reports from the mayor, CAO, or department heads.
Mayor Glazer.
Thank you. I'll start with the citywide sales tax revenues. For September, we're up 13.09%, which amounts to $476,720.97 compared to the same month last year. For the current fiscal year, we are up 16.88%, which amounts to $1,843,027.91 compared to this time last year. So they still remain strong. As I said during the proclamation before the meeting, yesterday began Hispanic Heritage Month. Here in Kenner, it'll run through October 15th, where we will hold a celebration here in Rivertown, which will include food, music, activities, and it'll be free for all attendees. And to update you on city departments, this week we have finalized an agreement with LCMC to use the Greenwalt Center. So we'll be moving the code enforcement department on the first floor and probably some council and planning people that need offices, back into the City Hall, 1801 campus. It's going to take a little while to build out a little. We need to put the cubicles back in there and kind of build a counter where, citizens can come up and get their permits. So it'll go quickly. And if you looked around here in Rivertown, the roof on the church was completed this week. So we'll be moving inside now to kind of rebuild and put the church back together. So hopefully it's done by Christmas time when we have the Christmas village down here in Rivertown again. So with that said, that's all I have for you this meeting.
Thank you, Mayor Glazer. Any comments? Okay.
Madam Chairman, at this time, I have a request to change the order of business. I have a motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Brennan, to change the order of business to take item 18A at the beginning of the meeting. Council members, please vote to change your order. Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Lahat?
Yay.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn? Motion passes 7-0. Item 18 is new business. Item 18A, at the request of the administration, an executive session regarding Naomi J. Hernandez et al. Versus Arthur J. Giovitella and the City of Kenner, 24th JDC, case number 794-386, Division E status. I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Lahat, to adjourn into executive session. Council members, please vote. Councilman Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn? Schwartz?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. We're now in executive session. We'll be returning in a few minutes.
Little store place across. It seems, it's nice. I haven't been over there yet. Yeah. Short walk, huh?
are you?
All right, my friend.
let's get started so we can complete.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Lahat to reconvene from executive session. Council members, please vote. Councilman Brannigan? Yes. Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn? Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Madam Chairman, I've received a request to amend the agenda to add item 18B, a discussion regarding the emergency purchase memo from the Fire Department dated September 9, 2022. Have a motion by Councilmember Schwartz, seconded by Councilmember McKinney, to amend the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to object to the council amending the agenda? Please come forward now. Seeing none, council members, please vote. Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn? Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Madam Chairman, under the consent agenda, we have item 1, approval of minutes, the regular council meeting of September 1st, 2022. Item 2 is approval of alcoholic beverage permit applications. Item 2A is a resolution granting an alcoholic beverage permit to Divine Mercy Catholic for a seafood festival on October 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2022 at 4337 Salentini Parkway, Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3 is approval of bingo and public gathering applications. Item 3A is a resolution approving the application of Divine Mercy Catholic Church to conduct charitable games of pull tabs and raffle on October 7th, 8th, and 9th, 2022 at 4337 Salentini Parkway, Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3B is application number 2290-22, Sha-Na-Na of Louisiana Incorporated to hold a public gathering on September 25th, 2022 from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the purpose of a fundraiser benefit at 2703 Williams Boulevard in Kenner, Louisiana. Item 3C is application number 2291-22, Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church, St. Rosalie Society to hold a public gathering on September 25th, 2022 from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the purpose of an annual St. Rosalie Mass and procession in Rivertown. Item 3D is application number 2286-22, Discovery Health Sciences Foundation doing business as Kenner Discovery to hold a public gathering on October 29, 2022 from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for the purpose of a school fall fest at 3837 Loyola Drive, Kenner, Louisiana. That will conclude the consent agenda.
It's a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Dunn. Councilman, please vote.
Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn? Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Under the public appearance agenda, we have item 8, public hearings for final passage. We have none. Item 9 is ordinances for the sale, purchase, transfer, lease, and/or alienation of immovable property. Item 9A is summary ordinance number 13,062, an ordinance authorizing the acquisition of a servitude upon Lot L1, Oakland Plantation, for the purpose of rerouting a sewer gravity line.
It's a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Wilmot? Yay. Dunn? Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 10 is opening of bids. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. We have none. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. We have none. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. We have none. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda. We have none. Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 13,063, an ordinance approving supplemental number 2 to the agreement with the State of Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development, DOTD, dated January 18, 2017, for Williams Boulevard Corridor improvements, LA Highway 49, West Metairie to I-10, state project number H.010570, federal aid project number H010570, City of Kenner project number 2014-001F-CIP.
We have a motion by Councilmember Schwartz, seconded by Councilmember Lahat. Do we have any questions or do we not have any comments from the administration? Okay, council members, please vote.
Councilman Dunn? Yes. Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 13,064. An ordinance approving an agreement with MB3 Incorporated doing business as Civics for professional services related to Hurricane Ida recovery in an amount not to exceed $95,700.
We have a motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Swarth. Would you have any comments, questions? Councilmember Wilmot?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just would ask that the administration explain this contract.
Good afternoon, good morning, Councilman Tamithia Shaw. What we have here is another contract. We contract with this company for our HUD matters. They provide us consulting matters to make sure that we're following all of HUD's procedures. We know that there's going to be an influx coming into the state for IDA funds, and it's going to be a grab among all of parishes and all of the cities to get this money. So we're trying to put ourselves in the best position to get as much money as we possibly can. So we're going to be contracting to make sure that we have everything in place to receive the money, because there is not enough money. We already know the money that's been allocated for the state of Louisiana for IDA is not enough money. Not only that, that money has to be divided between the state and 25 parishes. In Jefferson Parish, we have to fight among all the municipalities and incorporated Jefferson. We have to put ourselves in the best position to receive that funding, so we're going to be working with this company to make sure that we have everything in place. And I'll give you an example. You know, it used to be, you know, after Katrina, they came and they gave a lot of money, but there are a lot of things that went wrong. So they've learned from that, and so now there's a lot of procedures you have to have in place, like staffing capacity. They look at everything to make sure that your municipality can handle the money that they're giving you, or they're not going to give it to you. So there's things that we have to do to prepare to make sure that we have everything in place to receive the funding.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Shaw,
Yeah.
also, is this funding also reimbursable as well?
Yes, we're going to be running under IDA.
Okay, great, thank you.
Michelle, you ready?
Yes.
You're ready for it. I mean, when it comes in, you already got things earmarked, you already got things.
Say that again, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you, Councilman. Would you say that again?
Are you going to be ready prior to this to proceed with all documentations and?
And that's why we have them come in to make sure it's in place. We don't anticipate the funding coming into the first quarter for 2023. So we want to make sure that the city of Kenner is ready and able to receive the funding.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shaw. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn? Motion passes 7-0. Item 15C is summary ordinance number 13,065, an ordinance approving an agreement with H&O Investments LLC to provide grass cutting services on an as-needed basis in an amount not to exceed $49,500 for the Department of Field Services.
A motion by Councilmember Lahat, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan. Councilmember Brannigan has questions?
Yes, this $49,000 is just to get us to the next contract period. Is that correct?
Ms. Herring?
This
Oh,
$49,000 is going to get us through January. We don't intend to use all $49,000.
Okay.
Because we are in the process of bidding this project right now as we speak. So hopefully we'll have a new contract within the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Well, and the reason I'm asking is I had some constituents on social media saying this is ridiculous to pay $49,000 a year to cut the grass. And I'm like, y'all don't know how much grass we're cutting. And it is, when I put on, I put on there, this contract is to get us to the next contract. So the next contract will start January 1 or February 1?
No, the next contract will probably start before January
Okay.
because it's being bid.
Okay.
We're in the process of bidding this project,
Okay.
this contract.
But this
Okay.
just gets us through the,
This will get us through January, late January.
So-
We have no intentions of using all $49,000 unless we have a problem with the bid process and we can't get a new contractor on board.
Okay.
And as far as grass cutting, we're getting into the slow season right now for
Right.
grass cutting. And we roughly spend about $11,000 per round. And one round is every 2 weeks.
Oh, my God. Okay. Well, that should answer some of the questions that are out there. The other question I had, I do remember seeing on the items that they provide, there's a mechanical sweeper, one, and I do remember seeing the H&O street sweeper out there when they're cutting grass, and in the contract, it says that it has to be swept within, I think it's 2 to 4 hours after the cut takes place, if there's any grass in the street. But I have not noticed an H&O sweeper back in the street again, and I think that's important, and I hope that we have that in the new contract that we're bidding, because a lot of the grass does get blown back into the street, and we need to get it vacuumed out.
We'll make sure that they conform to every line item in the contract and the terms of the contract.
I have no doubt in the world, Jose. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Councilmember Swaff?
Mr. Gonzalez, I know we talked about it just really briefly, the alleyways that we have over in District 2, about cutting the rear of the yards. Is that going to be in the contract at all? Is that going to be brought up? And right now, as it's been explained to me, the residents are responsible for cutting that little strip of grass. We're only talking about 2 feet between the fence and the asphalt roads. A lot of these people, we had cut it, the city had cut it years past. And a lot of them that now built a solid fence, they have no access to the alleyways anymore to cut it. And if they want to cut the grass, they would have to push their lawnmower around the block just to cut this 60-foot stretch. Is that going to be in the contract as well, do you know, or?
I know we added, a significant amount of areas, Todd Lots, Lake Town, the Georgia Avenue unimproved right-of-way. I'm not sure whether we added the alleyways. I'm working with the city attorney's office to see what our responsibility is as far as the alleyways, but maybe Bill can answer that since he worked on that contract.
Bill! Hey, you are, sir.
Yes, so the alleyways were added, like Jose said, plus a lot of other stuff, because of our shortage of people. But the contract will have a caveat in it that we can add and subtract acreage as we need it. As we hire people, we'll take acres out the contract as we can do it ourselves. But the alleyways you're talking about were added. If we can't do it, then we'll just subtract them when it's time to cut.
Okay, appreciate that, thank you.
Councilmember Dunn?
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. I have one question. Mr. Gonzalez, of course, we've talked about this a minute, about what's going on with the railroad and things like that. Is any of that included, the spraying or whatever for that servitude?
The railroad.
Yeah,
ditches,
the
the
ditches.
railroad ditches.
Yes.
Well, recently, the railroad ditches were just sprayed for the first time in a while, and also the company also cut the tops of them so they could get to all the access to the spraying. We only spray the ditches. The railroad right-of-ways were supposed to be cut by the railroad. But we have to have access to the ditches. We'll cut what we have to get access to the ditches we have to spray. They were just sprayed about 2 weeks ago, and we plan on spraying them again in about 3 weeks before the winter sets in, and then cut them, of course.
Okay, what happens, because in the spray, because the grass is so high, so is any of that going to be cut down at all? Because, once you spray as high as the grass is, once you spray, we understand the grass is going to die, but again, it's still so high. We want it to look nice.
Right,
in
and
that
like I
area.
said, due to the shortage of some of the people this year, we've gotten behind, but we plan on keeping them, cut and sprayed a lot better off than it has been this year due to the shortage of people. We added it to the contract, and as we hire people, like I said, we'll cut it out. But you should see a difference, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any additional? Okay, council members, please vote.
Councilman Lahad?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay?
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15D is summary ordinance number 13,066. An ordinance approving amendment number 1 to the agreement with Beacon Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Incorporated to provide air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration services, labor only, increasing the not-to-exceed amount from $150,000 to a new not-to-exceed amount of $250,000 for the Department of General Services.
Motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. Councilmember Dunn?
Yeah, I have a question on this contract. I just want to know from the administration, because this contract, we just approved it for $150,000, so now, we're talking $250,000. Do we get a breakdown of what this is?
Yeah, the increase is due to the fact that we had a lot of units that got damaged during Ida. And for instance, Building A, we just didn't see an unforeseen issue. We had to replace 8 air handlers in there so we can get employees back in the building, and that was a pretty penny, so that put us at the cap. So this is just an increase so we can get through the year until we get the new contract in place.
If
So
I
after
can,
this, okay.
too.
Ms.
So
Herring?
it was Building C, the air handlers went out, and it was about $106,000 just for that. So we've spent 120 of the original that you just approved. So at this point, we wouldn't have enough funds to do anything if anything else came up. And as Mark said, they're working on correcting the damages that were sustained from Ida. So that's what this need is for.
Yeah, we have a few more units that we will be replacing in the near few months that were damaged from Ida. And some of them in the gymnasium, so we need to get these gyms back up and running. So we need to increase the cap so we have enough to cover it.
And this is a labor-only contract. We're not
Right.
purchasing equipment with this contract. It's just labor-only.
Any additional questions? Councilmember Brennan?
Is any of that recoverable on the insurance policies?
So I'm not sure about Building C. I don't think it was directly related to Ida, but all the other repairs, the gym repairs and all that, yes, that'll be recoverable through insurance and then FEMA after.
Thank you.
Another thing is a lot of these units that are breaking down now are 25, 30 years old, so they're reached their limit. So
Thank you, Mr. Glorioso.
you're welcome.
Any additional questions? Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes,
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15E is summary ordinance number 13,067, an ordinance approving amendment number 3 to the Community Housing Development Organization agreement between the City of Kenner and New Hope Community Development Corporation.
Motion by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Any comments? Would you like to, Ms. Shaw, explain what this is?
Thank you, Tamithia Shaw, Community Development. In 2019, we purchased homes to rehabilitate for first-time home buyers. Unfortunately, when we purchased them and we bid it out for the contractor, COVID started. So there were supply chain issues, and then we had Ida. So actually, one of the homes is complete, so we're just trying to complete these homes, and we plan on completing them by December, and then hopefully selling them thereafter to first-time home buyers. But because this project has run over, we will be getting from HUD, because there were waivers put in place by HUD because of Ida and because of COVID. So we want to make sure as we move forward, we can make these properties available. But this is just to get us through completion of the houses. Like I said, one is complete. We have a construction manager hired by the city. They're going to do a walkthrough to see if that one is completely ready, and then the other one, like I said, by the end of the year should be complete.
Great, thank you. And how many homes were?
It was two
It
homes
was two
we
homes,
purchased,
okay.
yes.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Councilmember Swarth?
You said that this is for first-time home buyers,
The purpose, yeah, it would purchase for first-time home buyers.
and I'm reading on here that low, moderate income home buyers or rented to or occupied by low, moderate income individuals.
Because there's requirements under HUD. Once we finish completion, you have to sell the homes within a certain time period. If you fail to do so, HUD requires you to make sure that you rent them. They have to have a purpose at the end. Like I said, but there were waivers put in place by HUD during COVID and during Ida and we want to take advantage of those waivers. But after we complete the homes, when there's a final completion, you have so much time that you either have to sell them or you have to rent them.
Yeah, because I don't want it to give somebody to buy a home, then turn around and go ahead and rent it
Oh,
out.
no, that does not happen. We monitor the homes that we do. Matter of fact, we've recovered money from people we found that did do that. Because what they don't understand is when you do that, that comes under federal law because you've gotten federal funding.
Okay, so if you buy it, you got to occupy
You
it.
have to occupy for whatever time that's mandated by HUD. If it's under 40,000, it's 10 years. If it's over 40,000, it's 15 years. If you move out, you have to repay the money. It's a forgivable loan, but it's still a loan nonetheless.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shaw. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15F is a resolution authorizing a $70,000 annual increase to the expenditure limit for the purchase of industrial maintenance, repair, and operational MRO supplies on an as-needed basis from W.W. Granger Incorporated, utilizing state contract number 4400015436 for the Kenner Fire Department.
Motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember Brennan. Councilmember Wilmot?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess I had a question. This is going to be a procedural question for this. The original amount is 30,000, then we increasing it by 70,000. So you add that together, it's 100,000. This is by resolution. Is that a problem with the charter? Then that it's 100,000?
It would normally be a problem with the charter, since the charter provides that anything more than 100,000 requires an ordinance. But the increase is an amendment of an ordinance that contains the language that it would be, the council deemed it would be all right to amend it at a later date by resolution, which is unusual, but it's not wrong.
So to clarify, the original ordinance said that it was okay to do it this way?
Yes.
Okay, so even though so if we amended it, say it's 70,000, if we amended it by increasing it to 100,000, it's still okay?
If you go into the original ordinance that allowed for amendment by resolution, yes, it would still be okay. I'm not saying that I would recommend doing that, but it was done, and it is in conformity with the charter, because the charter specifies what must be done by ordinance, and it says anything exceeding $100,000. The council some time ago changed that to $50,000.
Correct.
Which is why a lot of these are ordinances and not resolutions. But the charter also says that except as here and above provided, all other actions may be taken either by ordinance or resolution at the discretion of the council. And it's my opinion that the council exercised that discretion in the original ordinance by saying that it could be amended by resolution. I'm sorry, is it confused matters?
It helps. As far as this particular resolution, I understand that this was laid over, so it was a 2-meeting as opposed to a 1 meeting. Is that your understanding?
An ordinance, yes.
No, I mean, as a resolution, it still was held over, I believe.
No, it can be adopted at this meeting.
No, I agree, but I think it was already held over once, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be a 2-meeting. I'm just saying it's been on the agenda for some time.
Like an ordinance, apparently.
Correct.
So it is being adopted as a resolution, which is in conformity with what it's amending.
Okay. Thank you for that explanation. Thank you.
Mr. Morella?
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 50 years. I'd just like an explanation. First of all, I want to ask this question. This is increasing the cap, is that correct? By $70,000? This is a cap increase?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to get an explanation why the cap is being increased to 70,000, about 70,000 more. And I understand we may exceed the cap, then again we may not. But I'd like to get an explanation for the $70,000 increase.
Ms. Herring?
So this contract is managed by the fire department, but it is utilized by many city departments. So one major expense that has come up is Freon is allowed to be purchased through this contract, and we've been needing a lot of it. So we've already spent $16,000 of the $30,000. So just to give you an idea, but if we're on track for that spending, then we think we're going to hit the cap sooner.
Okay, thank you, Liz.
Yes, Councilman Swarth?
Chief, could you tell us some of the items that you buy from Granger for the fire department? Just briefly, because I know you buy a lot.
We don't individually use a whole lot of that contract. I think we've only used about $3,000 of that contract for stuff like extension cords, small tools like that for the stations.
Okay, I was, buy shovels, generators, some of the brooms and all to clean up after accident scenes or
Well,
anything?
some of these things come through contract with other vendors. Home Depot, and it's another company that we utilize to purchase that's already under contract to sell us those types of items.
Yeah, I know Granger, Uline, these are all companies that you need it, they have it somewhere in there, somewhere in the book that's this thick. They have it on there. And I was just wondering, some of the plies, if you had
Well,
purchased.
like I said, with that, we purchase stuff every now and then from there. Sometimes when General Services is doing repairs to certain buildings, they have to go utilize Granger to purchase items, and that's what we use it for. Like I said, I think so far we've only spent about $3,000 of that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Councilmember Wilmot?
Just one other comment, and I'm getting back to the conversation that we just had with Mr. Power. This is a peculiar way to handle this. I mean, as far as the amendment and it being in excess of what is allowed by resolution. And I'm just suggesting in the future that things be handled differently. It really needs to be by an ordinance as opposed to a resolution. And I understand that it is a resolution, and we're going over the cap of 50,000. We're actually doubling it to 100,000. I do have a problem with that. I'm not comfortable with it. I don't know if there's any way we can defer this at this time. Is it a time-limited issue?
Councilman, I don't disagree with what you just said, but the stage is already set for this particular ordinance, that a prior council decision to amend it by resolution was approved, and I don't find fault with that. I don't agree that that's the way to do it, though.
Is it strictly limited to this particular issue? In other words, you said a prior ordinance allows this.
Yes, that's the only
it's
reason
limited
that
to
this is by a
particular issue?
resolution, is because of the ordinance that approved the contract in the first place.
Okay, so it's limited, though, to this issue, so we're not going to necessarily see it bubble up into other
Not
issues?
if I can control it, no.
Okay.
It will not be done that way.
Okay, that helps, Thank you, that's all.
Thank you, Councilmember Wilmot. But I do recall we had a previous discussion with the last administration eliminating that wording from all future resolutions or from all future ordinances. So we probably still have some ordinances on the books that have that wording in there. So I will talk to you outside of this, but we'd like to clean that up, in the future to have everything go by ordinance rather than by resolution.
There may be other ordinances that don't actually deal with the purchase of materials.
Right.
That contains this language. And I have to take them one at a time, because in some instances, it's no harm, no foul. But in others, it's probably questionable. I agree.
If I may.
Yes, Councilmember Wilmot.
And I mentioned a moment ago a deferral, potential deferral, and I withdraw that based on your comments. So thank you, Mr. Power. I understand, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not happy with it, but as long as we address it in the future, I think
Understood.
we're good. Thank you.
Deferral is up to the council, and I don't know what urgency there is, but
Thank you. I'm good.
Council members, please vote.
Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Mahat.
Yay.
Brannigan.
Yes.
Brennan.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Gill's Carpet Sales Incorporated to supply carpet tiles as needed in accordance with seal bid number 22-6689 in an amount not to exceed $75,000 annually for the Department of General Services. Item 16B is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Vulcan Incorporated to supply reflective sheeting in accordance with seal bid number 22-6688 in an amount not to exceed $30,000 annually for the Department of General Services. Item 16C is an ordinance amending the operating and capital budgets for fiscal year 2022/2023 to establish funding in various departments and defund positions and eliminate various departments. Item 17 is reports from the council and/or special committees. Item 18 is new business. Item 18A was taken at an earlier juncture in the meeting. Item 18B, at the request of Councilmember Schwartz, a discussion regarding the emergency purchase memo from the Kenner Fire Department dated September 9, 2022.
Yes.
Councilmember Swarth.
Sorry. Chief? I know the Motorola
Let me,
radio- Okay, go ahead.
no, I was going back to your Granger question of all the invoices we have related to Granger. Most of them were recreation, KPD, wastewater, general services, field services. Fire department really doesn't have a whole lot of purchases from Granger. Okay, so none of radios.
Okay. Thing of it is, I know it's emergency purposes, but these trucks have been on order for a while.
Right.
These trucks are supposed to be delivered originally, I believe, July 1st time. Why are we doing the emergency purchase, and why wasn't this done prior to having to be an emergency that we have to? I know the two new trucks come in. I think one of them, they're training on one of the trucks right now.
Right.
Why emergency? I mean, could we have had these radios in hand, ready, bid out, for when the trucks came in, we could have had them, okay, install them? Why all of a sudden it's gotta be an emergency purchase, is what I'm trying to ask.
Well, because the cost of the individual radios went above $5,000, it was a price increase. So prior to that, we could have just purchased them through Motorola through the contract. Because the price exceeds the $5,000, now we needed council approval.
Yeah,
But it was a price increase.
Still goes back to my original, why wasn't this already done, and said and done, and then when the trucks come in, ready for installation, why do we have to do this now, under emergency contract? That's what I'm trying to say. We knew the trucks were coming in. We knew they were coming. So going through the process of going out for bid, getting the best bids, getting the best price, best bang for the buck for the city of Kenner. Now it's under emergency, it's like we've got to do this now. You know, I was just wondering why we didn't think about this in July.
Right, I think this started back then when we were purchasing, the original plan was to try to salvage, maybe utilize the radios on the other apparatus, but since we're planning on keeping those in the fleet for emergency purchases, we ended up purchasing and planning to purchase new radios to put on these apparatus, and that process had been in effect for a couple of months, since July or whatever. But prior to this, by it being less than $5,000, it was something we could have just purchased off a state contract. But because the cost of the two radios went above $5,000, I think it's $5,200, now we needed legislative approval to purchase them. But it was a price increase on the radios.
Right, I don't.
And it's like a 30-day window that we could get them, call them, say, give us the contract on it, and send them over there and get them installed. It's not a long process to make the radios happen.
Right, and we've changed name brands for the radios. I know we have Motorola's that are in most of the apparatuses now, and now we're going to the Vikings. They're comparable.
Yeah, it's the same, as long as they operate on the same systems.
Yeah,
The names are different. the brand doesn't, yeah, the brand is just a brand. It's like a Samsung or whatever TV you purchase.
Is the dependability of the radios, make sure that they want to work and operate when we're under emergency situations. I just wondered, I'm trying to eliminate other departments for coming up and doing the same thing.
Right.
You know, just, oh, I need this like right now. Well, you thought about it 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Why all of a sudden it's an emergency? Got to be done now. And that's just when I know, yeah, price increases. It's nothing that we can avoid.
Right.
Nothing we can avoid.
Right.
But if we would have had these things on hand, set, we wouldn't have had to worry about a price increase because we already had it. You know, it's just like buying something before it goes on sale, or buy it's on sale and the price goes up later.
Right.
If we would have had these radios on sale, I think we could have, on hand, could have saved the city probably a couple bucks. You know, if we would have had these radios, we knew the trucks were coming in, things.
Right. I mean, we could have purchased the radios when we put in the purchase order for the trucks 18 months ago, or 16, however long ago it was. So, 16 months ago, we could have purchased them then, but then other stuff may happen, they get lost or anything like that. So you run the risk of individual incidents like that happening. So we put the purchase order in once the trucks came, started prepping for everything, the new equipment that needed to go on the trucks and all these other things. And the radios was one of them, and it's usually under the normal process, a short turnaround to make radios happen. They're local. It's not something that we have to wait to be built like we did with the fire trucks. So in the short time, but in that time, the price increase went from 4,000 something to 5,000. So it's not just a phone call, okay, we're ready to get radios installed. We have to do the legislation to make it happen now.
Yeah, I understand that. And I know the company, things like that, has got the radios on hand, so we don't have to worry
Right.
about ordering radios. As soon as the truck goes in, you line it up, and your radios go to That's, I know that's taken care of. I'm just wondering, I'm trying to stop other departments from doing emergency.
Well, trust me, I didn't want this process myself.
So we got new trucks coming, we got at least one truck right now going out for bid, right now. Do you have any trucks right now, that you're on your wish list to be?
Yeah, I have trucks on my wish list.
Okay, so when you get it in and you get the numbers on it, have the radios put in, or have the numbers for the radios then, so we don't have to do an emergency purchase for the next one the trucks come in again. You know, have everything lined up, you don't mind, put that all in there, so we got that, you know. Another question, you gotta haul a hose and all the appliances and tools for the truck that's on the truck already, is that all in with the bid? Because I didn't, sorry, I'm coming in July, I don't know what the original bid was. On for us, hose, all the hose on the fire truck, the tools, extrication tools, if we have them on there, or appliances, axes, everything else. That's already been purchased, everything's been done.
Like I said, most of the stuff that's already on existing units that these units are replacing will be put on the new units.
So you're just gonna take off of one, and just put it on the other one?
Yeah, take what's existing, and then the stuff that's deficient we'll replace on there, but we won't know that until we start changing the equipment over from one unit, from the older units to the new units. Like I say, these units are so old, but I don't want to consume them yet, because if we have another IDA we put in 10 units. We put in every truck that we had in service because of the volume of incidents that we were responding to. So we put, so these units will be there if we need them in those types of situations.
I'm sorry,
So-
I
Yeah.
just realized I didn't have my mic on.
Well, I can hear you fine.
Okay, good. The old trucks, you gonna keep them back up in service?
Yeah. Well, we only need, we're required to have one official spare truck, but they will be technically spares, like last resort spares, for us just in those incidents, like I say, with disasters and stuff like that, in order to be able to stand up extra units, or if we have multiple units fail, to replace those to go in, or in those last resort type instances.
Right, I didn't know if you was going to mothball them or,
I think one of them we're going to mothball because the condition of it is kind of real last resort. But, you know, a function and a crunch if we needed it to.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to put it behind vehicle maintenance over there with the other two trucks, are you?
Those are gone. I mean, those have serious mechanical issues that is not worth the cost to repair them, to keep them in service.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that.
Councilmember Lahat.
Chief, this is mainly a question, I think, for Elizabeth, and I'm trying to help you out on this one. Station 379, the rolling sheet door, I've heard this is the third time we bid it. So I'm still new, so I don't want problems with the firehouses. So how do we get these people to fix the door? Are we not getting responses? Are they not adequate?
Yeah, we're not getting the responses. So it went out for bid again this past Wednesday. So it closes, I believe, on October 12th. It was damaged during Ida,
Yeah.
so FEMA requires you to do a bid process. If it got into a case where it was an emergency, you know, the city attorney's office, if they determine it's a emergency, we could move forward with getting it repaired. But as of now, we're following our bid law.
Sure.
Just-
Is there anything on my side that we can do to get someone to look at this and respond to the bid?
If anyone knows of anybody, we reach out to vendors that perform repairs before with the city, and we've sent it out. It's advertised in the Journal. It's on our website. It's on Central Bidding. It's everywhere
Got it.
that, you know, we normally bid stuff on.
Okay. That was a Elizabeth question, so
Okay.
can you go sit down?
No, I think Councilman
You better hurry
Suarez
up.
has another,
Forgot to ask. Status on Station 38, the trailer.
I'm sorry, what happened?
That's what I wanted to ask. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What's that?
Trailer, are we,
Madam Chairman.
Councilmember Dunn, yes.
yes,
Madam
right here.
Chairman.
Or have we switched out the trailer yet?
Yeah, they switched out.
They switched out.
They finished the connections yesterday. So
Okay.
they're ready for the guys to move in starting today.
Okay, thank you.
You need to look this way.
Councilman Brennan?
Councilman Brennan.
I forgot my question. I need a challenge flag of some sort, all right? Chief, when did we order the trucks? Approximately.
I think May of last year, 21.
Okay. And the radios that are in the older vehicles or the other replacement vehicles, how old are those radios? Approximately?
20 plus years.
Okay. So regardless of when, even if we would have ordered these 18 months ago, is it possible the technology has changed between then and now?
It's highly possible. Technology is moving really fast.
with
I mean,
that,
even
the-
the radios we have now
And I understand and respect the trying to reduce emergency purchases, but I'm not an electronics expert by any means, but it just seems, and I would imagine this would apply to the fire department, the police department, and maybe even other departments. If it's something as important as radio communication, would it be better to wait until we know, okay, the trucks are being delivered at this point, and we know it's going to take us 8 weeks to get this equipment, to go ahead and order it at that point, rather than 12 months or 14 months ago? I know Chief Conley's talked about the patrol cars and what the delay is. I think it's 8 months for 40-plus months for police cars. So again, I'm not trying to be argumentative in this. I think there's some things that are going to have to be
that-
done.
at the
in-
moment. Right.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Councilman Brannigan.
The question, Brennan just stole my stuff, and the reason that the police cars are taking 40 months is they can't figure out what side to put the 40-plus weeks, is because they can't figure out what side to put the steering wheel on, but that's for another topic. I don't feel comfortable putting 20-year-old radios in brand-new fire trucks, so I think that when we have new fire trucks coming in, as Councilman Brennan said, just get ahead of the game on a deal so we don't have emergency purchases if possible.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we don't want our guys listening to 8-track tape players.
Right.
That would be CDs, 20 years ago.
Thank you, Councilwoman McKinley.
Any other comments? Okay. Oh. Okay.
19 is unfinished business and motions to reconsider or remove from a tabled position. We have none. Item 20 is persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters.
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 50 years. I want to talk about a couple of meetings that took place back in 2020. The first one is on April 17. Item number 13C was resolutions and motions by council members to suspend the Rule 43 and adopt Rules 54 to 57. This excludes you three new council members. You wasn't here at the time. Thank you, sir. But 4 of the 7 members are still here. And these rules, as it related to emergency declarations, okay? Now, this was on April 17th, 2020. Also on that same agenda, on first reading, was items 16A, 16B, 16C, 16D, to authorize an agreement between the City of Kenner and DRC and Ceres Environmental and Tech Debris. Then on May 7th, at that council meeting, 2020, at the council chamber on Williams Boulevard, the contract was voted on and awarded to DRC, 2 ordinances, and Tech Debris and Ceres Environmental by a vote of 7-0 of the council. Now, this is the spending that's being investigated after Hurricane Ida, which was approved. These contracts was approved by unanimous vote, 7-0 of this council. Now, I would like the council clerk to go into the archives and read these items from those meetings into the record for today. Now, I'm not going to yield my time. I got some more I want to say while I'm up here. I want to inject a little history. In 1814, Francis Scott Key wrote a poem called Defense of Fort McHenry, and it later became the Star-Spangled Banner. And he was inspired to do this by witnessing the American flag flying over the Maryland fort during an all-night British naval bombardment. And he witnessed it from a ship in the middle of Boston Harbor that he was confined to because of the bombardment. Also on September 14th, the 25th President of the United States, William McKinley, died of wounds from an assassin's bullet. And on September 8th, 1935, nothing was mentioned of this. Just goes to show you how history sometimes is just totally eliminated. But I know it, and I talk about it every chance I get. On September the 8th, 1935, Huey Pierce Long was assassinated in the state capitol building in Baton Rouge that he built. Never did see the bridge completed that bears his name today. On September 9, 1965, New Orleans was hit with one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever hit that city, Hurricane Beverage, September 9, 1965. So anybody who's watching and reviews this meeting, they don't teach you these kids this in school anymore, so I hope this helps out a little bit what I had to say.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Morello.
I will turn this over now to the council clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Councilman Wilmot.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to reflect back on item number 15F for just a moment. Apparently, I misspoke when I said that this particular resolution laid over. From what I understand, the resolution did not lay over. So it came up and it's voted on today. So I bring that up because in case anybody wants to rehear it, they're more than welcome to do it at this meeting, but I'm not planning on doing so. But I just want to give my fellow council members that opportunity since I misspoke. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Wilmot. Any other comments? Okay, Mr. Melvin Hurst.
My name is Melvin Hurst. My address is 3137 Lexington Street, Kenner. I'm here before you today under the new administration. I'm hoping that the Code Enforcement Department will do what they're supposed to do. We have a lot of things going on in my neighborhood that wouldn't be allowed in other neighborhoods. I have at this moment, well, when I left home, oversized flatbed truck was parked out in the street to where I couldn't get back into my yard. We have a dumpster parked on the end of the street that I was told I know this person was told that it couldn't be there. They moved it and brought it right back. I saw code on our day before yesterday, passed by and take pictures. I saw the code enforcement officer again this morning. Now, all of this is going on, but nothing is changing. The same person who's doing this has been found in contempt of court 3 times, has been fined over $1,000, and continues to do the same thing. My concern is that if code goes out and tells a citizen, you can't put this here, and then code comes back and it's back again, and nothing happens. So when is this going to end? What's going on in my neighborhood? I don't believe you guys would let that go on in Chateau. I don't think you would let that go on in Lakeview. And the law is supposed to be the law for all of the city of Kenner. So whatever rule applies to the city should apply to what we're going through. Take a ride on Lexington Street one time in the 3100 block. It'll be there for you to see. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hurst. Councilmember Dunn.
Yes, Reverend Hurst, we get calls every day from code in our neighborhood. I ask that everything would come through my office, District 1, at kenner@la.us. And the reason for that, because we are doing a record to make sure, and then we do the updates and we go back. I haven't been in that part of your street. Today is the first day since I have been here for 2 months that I've heard about that. We get calls every day on code in other areas, and I will assure you that we handle what we get through my office. Now, if you're going directly to code, then that's different. But I can assure you that whatever comes through, my office, my administrator and I, we don't even wait. We get on it immediately. We go on site visits and things of that nature. So today was the first day that I've really heard about your street since I have been here. I know over the years that there have been a problem.
Yes.
And keep in mind, code has been such a big issue in my community, and this is where I live. So if you would send that email to Viviana, who's here, my assistant, raise your hand, Viviana, and make sure it gets through my office, and then we can do an update, and she can go back and look into the records to see what's going on there. And I really appreciate you coming forth and addressing us today.
Okay, well, I'll have to work it out because I don't know how to email. I'm old
Okay,
school.
well, we'll make sure you get it, and because we need a record of this to make sure that, what's coming in my district. I don't go to their district or do anything like that. But
well-
what's come on in my district, we make sure that we have a record of it. I'm sure they're tired of us, but we call every day, we get an update, and Viviana can definitely tell you where we are when it comes down to that.
Well, let me just say this, and thank you so much.
Sure.
Even with the big flatbed truck, that's parked there. Everything is for hire. And
I didn't know
the-
about it, I'm sorry.
the code officer came out on a Friday, told him, you can't put that there. It can't be parked here. And the code officer tells me, he says, he's going to bring it back. If he brings it back, take a picture of it, Monday, bring it to us. Sure enough, Friday evening, he brought it right back. I took the picture, I bring it over to code. They go out, they issue a citation, then all of a sudden, it goes away. And the truck is still being parked in the street. And let me just say this, I don't think it's fair for me to come out of my yard and have to make a left turn and go down the
Right.
street and
I
turn
agree.
around to go to 31st Street.
I agree. I do agree.
Yeah, you know, I shouldn't have to do that. And as I said, if you go there right now, the truck might be gone now, but the other truck and the trailer with the machines on it, 2 of them are on the lot, and the dumpster still parked down at the end of the street. And he moved it like they told him, but he brought it right back.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank
Council-
you.
Councilmember Lahat.
Hey, Mr. Hurst, Councilman Lahat, I'm District 3. Hey. There was, before this administration, there's huge problems with code. I definitely agree with you. I had problems in Driftwood, Beachview Heights, Green Lawn. They've since hired someone who's very, very competent. She's standing right there at the podium getting ready to speak about a lot of this, Catherine Topple. And there's a lot of problems that they've already fixed in the couple of months they've been here. And there's a lot more they are fixing, but they need personnel to do it. They're hiring people. Code was a really big thing with me too, because if you don't have code, the area looks bad, then it promotes criminal activity. You want things to look good. So I'm a big cheerleader for code operating correctly. They do have hearings where they summon people in and they talk about what you're talking about. You got to move that truck. You can't leave it here. Somebody kept parking an RV in Driftwood on an abandoned lot. I had to deal with that. I had someone park a bread truck across from my house, and sometimes it comes back. So I understand the frustration dealing with that. Catherine and their team is hugely responsive to my office and everybody else you call. She's a lot on her plate, and she's fixed a lot. So I would think in a few months and later this year and into next, you're going to notice a huge difference. Okay? Yeah.
Everything that the Lord has told me to do. And it was like, I was saying, absolutely nothing changed. So my point is this, if you guys have a rule, and I'm going to keep on breaking the rule, I've been fined in contempt of court 3 times. I've been fined over $1,000, and I continue to do the same thing. Well, maybe a little jail time will fix this.
And Councilmember Swarth.
Mr. Hurst, let me tell you, there's repeat offenders everywhere through each district. We always go back, same thing, a lot of it's grass cutting, you know, the lots. The lady on my block, for 4 months, I had to call her up twice a month to get out there and go cut the grass on an open lot. And she didn't care, she didn't live there. This is the first time in 4 months that she actually cut the grass. She had somebody cut the grass, and I didn't have to tell her, which I'm about ready to call her up and thank her for doing that for me. But we're working on it. This lady right here, I have the utmost confidence in her. She's helped me out tremendously on several issues. And just, sometimes I hate to say it, but the wheels of government turn slow. Your frustration, totally understand it. Totally understand it, especially it's been going on for a long time. Right. Just, we knew, we're here, this is new government. Things are going to get done, all right? Look for it and expect it. Expect it.
Director Topple.
Thank you. I'm very familiar with your concerns out there. I'm personally familiar. And yes, I do have the inspector out there on a regular basis because I feel that the harder we hit on a regular basis, they're going to understand we're not going away. Now, unfortunately, we're limited right now on the process. We have to go to court. They have to get a summons. And this is not real. This is not just a small court. This is real court. If they don't show, they get an attachment out for their arrest. However, I am going to be working with the council in the future to make some changes so we can hopefully get some better penalties to prevent them from coming back and continuously doing this over and over, and we end up having to babysit the repeat violators, such as he's dealing with, and I know exactly what he's dealing with, and he shouldn't have to deal with it. But Councilwoman Dunn, I will send you that information, and Viviana, I have all that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Shirley Lucas, if you can state your name, if you can just state your name and address, and then also your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes, my name is Shirley Lucas. Again, good afternoon to City of Kenner Council and everyone that's assembled. I'm here to address a situation that's been current for quite a while. I've attempted to go through City of Kenner, calling the office to address this, thank you, sir, to address this particular situation, and it involves the railroad crossing at Holiday Street and Kenner Avenue. I even have photos in my phone when crossing that railroad crossing. I'm sure some of you who are seated here today are familiar with this particular crossing. And I cross it quite regularly. I am a citizen of Kenner, and again, when I cross this railroad crossing, I feel as though I'm on a boat, rocking on a stormy, windy day. It is very unbearable. It's in poor condition, and I see it as really creating for me a repair bill for my vehicle that I'm not really ready to address. I don't want to have to put out money on my vehicle for a situation that has been in this condition for quite a while. I'm talking some years. And again, this is one avenue. I prayed, I asked the Lord, lead me, what direction to go in. And I've been executing as many avenues as possible to have my voice heard. Again, I did it by phone. Then my eyes laid hold of an article stating the meetings here at Kenner. There was one earlier this month, which I got distracted and I was not able to attend, but I am here today. And again, I'm just wanting to voice my concern, and hopefully someone, can help me, to, again, see a resolution in this situation.
Christie?
Yes. Oh, Mr. Power?
Yes, ma'am. I have been in touch, in communication with the Canadian National Railroad. Kenner has 9 crossings. The 2 worst crossings, I am told, are Hollandy and Hanson. And I have communicated with the railroad. They assure me that they have ordered materials to rebuild those crossings. I have no idea how long it takes to get the materials or when the work will begin, but it has been addressed. I'm sure there are other crossings in Kenner that need attention as well. But rather than ask them to do all 9 of them, we thought we would rank them by the worst to the best. Williams is probably next, because Williams is pretty terrible as well. But they are addressing Hanson and Hollandy now. As soon as they have the materials, they'll do the repairs.
Okay, I thank you, because again, and also to add, I can go in another city and cross railroad crossings, and, they're as smooth as a baby's bottom. But this particular location at Holiday and Kenner Avenue, and again, I'm sure some of you all that are seated here today, you crossed this railroad crossing. So, I'm not exaggerating, but it is in poor condition. But I thank you, sir, for informing me that, something is in the making of, resolving this situation, because again, it's been in poor condition for quite a while. But hopefully, again, I look forward to seeing, this situation rectified.
The
But I
railroads
thank
don't
you.
always, this railroad in particular, because it's the only one in Kenner whose tracks, Kansas City Southern uses their tracks, but the tracks belong to Canadian National. Railroads are historically slow to react to requests from local governments because they know they're not regulated by local governments, they're regulated by the federal government. And so they tend to get away with a lot. But in this case, those two crossings are, I'm assured, will be addressed as soon as the materials become available. I follow up with this guy from time to time. I don't know where he is. I deal with him by email. I'll continue following up.
Okay. Well, I thank you, and thank you for hearing my concern.
Thank you, Ms. Lucas. Thank you, Ms. Lucas. Councilman Dunn?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. President, I'm sorry, McKinley. Minister Lucas, as soon as we had taken office, we were on the ground running with that issue with the railroad. We tried to, do what we could. We did speak with the CEO and with Mr. Powell. And those are the issues that we were very much concerned about because we know about that. But I want to assure you, first of all, thank you, for addressing this council. But I do want to assure you that they have been on it, from the time that we have been in office. We ride around the community as much as we can. And we knew that that was definitely an issue, and that's why Mr. Powell said that, don't worry about it, we are on it. I know that that was something that happened way back. We do understand that. But be assured of what he said, we were on it, and they have been in touch with the railroad. And I understand what you're saying. I was in Hammond not long ago, and those railroads were top-notch. So I get what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. If you go to Metairie, top-notch. Kenner, not so. So we are definitely on it. This is a different administration, and we are not just walking away from these problems. But thank you so much, and be assured that they are really on this problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Matthew Hotard? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilmember Wilmont.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I just wanted to make comment to Ms. Lucas as well, just to let you know that a lot of these things, when it involves the railroad, the state or some of our state elected officials do have some input into this process. I've already texted our state representative just as you were speaking, because this is the first time I'm hearing of the issue. And I do see some loose boards and planks and so forth on vehicles, and they're bouncing up and down. And I understand they have already taken pictures of them. They've already sent in their logging complaints now. And also they're contacting, because it's federal law that we're dealing with, so they're contacting one of the congressmen as well to key him in on the issue. So thank you for voicing out today. And I think, again, if local government, as Mr. Power said, that we don't have the voice that we really need. We have to bring in these other folks, and they have been contacted, and they are on board, and they've already jumping into it. So thank you again for coming today and voicing your opinion. Thank you. It matters.
Yes, Ms. Shaw?
Councilwoman Dunn and I were in the civic meeting, and Jolandra Johnson from Byron Lee's office came in. They have been in contact. Councilmember Lee has been in contact with Congressman Carter regarding this issue because it is a federal issue. Also, she did forward to me a claim form that people can fill out for the damages that have happened. Some people have already filled them out, and I think that's the only thing that's going to make them pay attention if people start sending those claim forms in to let them know that you have to repair people's cars because there is damage being done. So like they said, there is, I know they also spoke to Representative Stagney about the issue, but they have been in contact with Congressman Carter to get this issue looked at on a federal level.
Just one thing, he did comment on Congressman Carter being involved as well.
Yes.
So that's, yes.
Yes.
So thank you. Thank
All
you
right,
for your help.
Mr. Hotard, if you could state your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Matthew Hotard, 66 Red Oak Drive. I'm the president of the Kenner Firefighter Association, 14-year firefighter in Kenner. Everything that I was going to come talk about today has already been addressed, which is good, and that's the only things that have changed since the last time I've been up here to speak. I did want to end today on a note. I know sometimes we get up here and we talk about some of the things that aren't that great. I wanted to end the note today on a positive note. We have an employee, his name is Raymond Guidry, and he's a newer firefighter, 4-year firefighter. While he was in this community, I believe it was a week or so ago, he was on Paul Mallard, and a fire had just started. He pulled his vehicle over with his wife in, and he went into the residence, and he started getting people out and pets out. He then also helped the volunteer fire department hook up to a hydrant, which is to get the trucks water. This is way above and beyond what he is to do as a citizen, although we have a duty if we were to see something to help. I wanted to acknowledge him because we, as the Kenner Fire Department, are very lucky to have him, and hopefully we're able to keep him. I get up here a lot and talk about, retention issues and the caliber of men and women they have in our department, and I think it's important to recognize people when they do stuff that's above and beyond. He does this on his off days. He most certainly would do it when he's called to do it on the days that he's on duty. So I wanted to recognize him for him going above and beyond and doing way above his duty. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hotard. Any comments? Okay, Mr. Wilbert Bradford. You have, if you could state your name and your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay, how y'all doing? My name is Wilbert Bradford, 2530 Kenner Avenue. I see a few familiar faces. One, I'm not very good with this because I'm not a politician at all. What I am is a community leader, and I want to get some things together. I've addressed a few people before the elections as far as Mayor Mike Glazer. He met with me personally as far as after the debate. This was one of the things that he said that he would be interested in as he get in office. I spoke with you as well through Colleen Winkler or something like that. Well, my concern is about the Rosemary J. Minor Park on Taylor Street. I sent out a proposal, but we had some situations. So now I just want to get back in front of y'all and find out, is that a thing that y'all really want to change? Like, do we really want community upgrades? Because if so, I think I made it in the simplest way, being as though we already have some of the groundings to make this thing happen, which was a few upgrades. All right, the demographics in our neighborhood is not for a tennis court. I want to start it off right there. That tennis court has been there for 30 years, and now it's becoming a haven for homeless people. It's not something that the kids go out to and play and enjoy, and it's one of the reasons that it's becoming a homeless park, and it's because for 10 to maybe 20 years, there's been no upgrades other than a few paint jobs. Again, I sent the proposal out, and I sent it again after speaking with Councilman Christie to meet with Councilwoman Deb Dunn, and I just want to get it done correctly. So I sent the proposal out again, and I just want to know, are we going to like keep talking about it, or is this something that we can actually get on ground and be like, okay, you know what, maybe it is a change that we can do over there? Because I do hear about like other playground upgrades and things like that, and I wonder why in our neighborhood, we can't get some of those upgrades. This would cost less than $50,000, and it also can be paid back through the rental gazebos, like getting more rentals and things, because people actually will want to be there now versus just passing by it and saying, oh, well, it used to be something at some point, maybe 30 years ago. So what's the issue? Who do I speak to? Who, like, actually speak to and get done? Not, the politician way of, hey, speak to me, but then I'll stop answering, because I called Mayor Mike Glazer's office. Once he got in office, I couldn't get through to him no more, versus when we spoke here. So I don't know if I have to start coming here every council meeting and speak with y'all this direct, or can y'all just, because I'm an artist. I'm not even allowed to come here that much. That's why I'm a community leader, because I'm an artist. So we've done things in our community as far as, give backs and, things that we didn't come to the board for, just, as far as even the march, we ran the march that, you know, was here last year. That was one of the biggest marches Kenner ever had. That was led by me. And so you know my influence. How can we get something done for my neighborhood? Because maybe the next person that's a leader of that neighborhood, he may not be interested in what I'm interested in right now.
Well, Mr. Bradford, thank you so much for coming and addressing council. I've never met you.
Yeah, no.
No, and I'm very accessible. Anybody would tell you I probably have more meetings than the mayor, but I would be definitely willing to sit down and speak with you. As you know, I don't have an office. They are definitely working on it, maybe in about a week or so. But with that being said, that have not been an excuse for me. We are meeting with people every day. I listen to their concerns and we work on them. So my assistant, Viviana, that's here, we take all of our calls. We don't let nothing go undone. This is a new day for District 1. I think that anybody that's in this district will tell you that. I'm not the previous administration. I do my job, and that was my promise to the people of this district when I ran. I'm only promising them two things: to hold this office with dignity and respect, and to do my job. And my job right now is to meet with you. Give her the information, let her put you on my calendar, and I will sit down and meet with you and anybody else
Yes, ma'am.
that
So
wants
far,
to
I've
meet.
already sent you the proposal.
I haven't seen
Yeah, no,
anything.
I just emailed it on my way in. So I sent you the proposal, so now I just have to give her the
Yes,
information and we can
and
talk
get
further.
on my schedule, you know, and we will sit down and talk about
Yeah.
it and look at what you have. I'm not turning anybody down. I want to hear what everybody have to say concerning this district, because I have the same interest. Lift this district up, see what works, see what doesn't work. Definitely listen to the constituents. So I'm here, I'm available, and I make myself available to all of the constituents. So again, thank you for coming in and for addressing this council. But I'm not the previous administration. You will not, you know, constantly have to come back here. You will meet with me directly.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
Everybody have a good day, appreciate it again.
Yes, yes, Mr. Bradford, I just want to, I know I had not received your email, the proposal, and actually I just received it when we were in the meeting, so I replied back. For some reason, it wasn't coming through the email. I know you sent it, you tried to send it multiple times and it wasn't coming through. I received it, and I'll ensure that the District 1 Council, I don't know if it's an email issue or something like that, I'll ensure that they get there and we'll engage together.
Yeah, I want to let you
Yeah.
know, that message wasn't of anger, it was really of passion, because we don't get nobody that come up here and speak for the kids more than personal gain. Like, you know, we have a lot about other things, but the kids are important. That's how the next votes come in.
Oh, yeah, and I totally 100% agree, because I think it was, you know, that's something that's really important, and something that's utilized, right? I mean, like you said, it's been sitting there. My son played tennis there, but you can tell it's, first of all, neglected, and it's not utilized. So getting something there that is actually going to be good for the community and something that's going to excite the community is, you know, I want to work together with everyone. So
sure.
thank you for coming,
No problem.
and thank you for, you know, following up. So I appreciate that.
Thank y'all again.
Yes, and actually, Councilman Swarth?
And sir, just want to let you know, when Ms. D says that she's going to be on her agenda, okay? If I want to talk to her, I got to go to her agenda too.
Nah, I definitely understand. There's a process for everything. I just want to make sure we get this done, because like I said, you know, they the future, man. I just want to give them a chance to.
And I'm
Thank
available
y'all.
too, anytime. Really, anytime.
Councilman Joy, I have your number. I text you personally through Colleen as well. She told me that you were somebody that's on fire for the city as well. So just give me a call whenever you get a second. It's nice to meet all y'all again.
I would love to.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Chief Conley has a comment.
Yeah, since this is the last meeting in September, I just want to announce that the Kenner Police Department, the mayor's office, the council, the fire department, on October 2nd at the Ponce Range Center parking lot from 12 to 6, we're going to have the national night, the kickoff, the National Night Out Against Crime. We're going to have over 35 agencies coming to the city of Kenner from across the region with showing off their heavy equipment. They're going to have live demonstrations involving canines, The fire truck's going to be there for the smokehouse. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of inflatables, things for the kids. It's going to be a red bean cook-off between the agencies. Everything's free food, drink. We're going to have 2 bands, Karma and the Top Cats are scheduled to appear. So we're really looking to make this a nice big event for all the first responders. We're going to have some helicopters, supposedly, some EMS equipment. So it's really going to allow us to engage with the community and let the community see what our first responders have available to them, and hope they never have to use it. But it's usually a good time. So I invite everybody to come on out. It's from noon till 6. And like I said, we'll have 2 bands playing, live demonstrations, and food and drink. The actual night out against crime is Tuesday, October 4th. We are registering neighborhoods because we'd like to come by and meet the community. That's what the event's all about, and how it started was to get neighborhoods out and together. And if you can't show up, you can sit on your own porch, and we'd like to come out and visit you. So you can go to KinnerPD.com, get the information and register with us. And like I said, we'd like to come by and talk to you. So that's October 2nd, the Pontchartrain Center parking lot, 12 to 6, and then Tuesday night, October 4th.
Thank you. And if you can advertise that on Facebook, and we'll all share that as well.
Yeah, we're going to put it up on social media.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Also, I just want to respond, let the clerk respond to Mr. Morello's comment.
Mr. Morella, I will research your request. If you get with me after the meeting, I'll be glad to research it and address it for you personally.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Chief, Fire Chief.
Real quick, Councilman Schwartz, you asked me how much did the fire department utilize the Granger account. To date, totally, we have 2 invoices. We spent $190.02 totally at Granger, and not the amount.
So you're breaking the bank, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.